as we move along, but welcome everybody to our virtual office. As you all know, our team it works remotely from around the world. So basically, this is our virtual office where we come together, have meetings, just hang out, and have some fun. As you can see, it's like a little computer game. So it's just like a fun gimmick for our community and for our team in general. So welcome. Just a few introductions. Like I said, you can move around with your arrow keys. You can use the chat on the right side. If you have any questions throughout the event or want to say something, feel free to use the chat. When you click on the chat bubble there, you can speak with everybody there. Also, you can make your character dance when you press Y. And you can throw confetti with an F. So yeah, it's like a fun stuff you can do. Yeah, basically, and if you want to speak with anybody on voice, feel free to just approach the character and automatically your voice and video will be enabled. So feel free to do that as well afterwards. Yeah, so welcome everybody. This is our final community call for this year. We have a really great agenda prepared for you. So let me just share my screen so I can introduce the agenda. I hope you guys can see that. So basically for today, we're gonna do a 2022 recap for Superfluid. So our CEO, Fran, will take the stage and will tell you what happened throughout the year, what are the highlights, what cool stuff have we been building this year. So just like a little recap of 2022. Then Mike is going to do a Superfluid Protocol in numbers to present a couple of growth metrics for us. Then our product lead VJ is going to talk about product and what has happened for the dashboard this year and what cool stuff they have been building over the past months. Then we're going to go over our wave pool winners from the previous wave. As you know, we have a community hackathon going on every month, and we are going to announce the winners from the November wave, and also a couple of updates there. And then finally, we have some exciting community project presentation prepared for you. So Craven is here with us. Craven is one of our ambassadors and one of our builders in the ecosystem. So he's building his own project called the GeoWeb, and he's going to do a little demo or presentation for us, which is exciting. And then in the end, if you want to stick around and you have some time, feel free to stay here. We're going to play some games. We have fun games here like Cardic Phone, Scribble, and Poker. And we have a special gaming room here in the office as well. So feel free to stick around if you're up for that. After all the presenters have presented, I will prompt all the instructions and how it works. Don't worry. But yeah, just so you know, you can stick around with us. All the speakers will be spotlighted, so you're gonna hear and see them wherever you are in the space. But if you're still wandering around, feel free to over to the auditorium. And yeah, I think we're good to start the call. So Fran, are you ready? I'm gonna not share my screen anymore, and I'm gonna spotlight Fran, who's gonna be our next speaker. You're muted, Fran.
Yeah, I'll come here to the stage anyway, just because it's fun to be on stage. Can you? Yeah, here we go. So hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us in our virtual office. As Victoria said, we try to come here as often as possible just to have a bit of a semi-physical space to spend some time. Some of you might have already been here. For others, it might be the first time, but we hosted a lot of our sessions with the Reactor program in here. We hosted a few of the community calls, some of the developer meetups we did were hosted in here. And yeah, overall, if you have any ideas as a community member of something that we could do in here, let us know, because we have the space and we probably don't use it as much as we could. But yeah, as Victoria said, I'm gonna share my screen and basically go through a bit of a presentation I prepared regarding what we've achieved this year. And yeah, let me see. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So I want to talk a bit about 2022. So it's been a pretty long and intense year for a lot of people in crypto. Now, obviously, Luna, Free Arrows Capital, more recently FTX, the whole market basically turning upside down has changed the viewing of crypto and also more in general in tech for a lot of people. Like I've know personally a lot of people who don't want to work in crypto anymore, but we've stood by. We're staying strong, and we weren't affected in any way by any of these things that happened. And I think that's because we were careful, right? And I think it's important to learn from these things and remember that ultimately crypto is here to avoid these problems. And the importance of self custody in solving these problems is something that I try to highlight as often as possible. But apart from that, it's been a very exciting year for us. We've built a lot this year. We've grown our team a lot. We've achieved a lot, and I think that's where I wanted to focus, because really thinking too much about the bad things won't get us anywhere. And the only way to improve going forward is going to be to keep building and improving the situation through products. So we pushed through this year, and we're pretty proud of what we achieved, and extremely excited for what's coming next. We believe that the bear market is the best time to build. Superfluid was born in the bear market, after all, and the bull market is just a time where everybody thinks they're much smarter than they are because everything is going well. But that's not real, right? The truth is the bear market and the sweat that you have to put into work, but the ultimate reward of building things that survive the test of time. So let's look back at this year, what we built. I mean, it's been a very, very long year. So let's see what we shipped. So the first thing that I think probably everybody here has tried at least once was the dashboard V2. So some of you might be with us for less than a year, but before we had a different dashboard, right? It was much slower. It didn't work as well. It was honestly, when you had too many streamed, it just took forever to load. Dashboard V2 was launched this year, and we're very excited to say that it's extremely fast. It's very efficient. It's very easy to build new features for. And in fact, in the last 3 weeks, we've actually shipped a couple of features that we didn't announce. So maybe head over to the dashboard and see if you can spot the differences. I feel personally that the UX has become so good. It just feels so natural using it. I don't like even notice when new things are introduced. So yeah, I'm curious to see if anybody noticed what's been added in the last few weeks. So apart from that, we've built a bunch of new protocol features. So the ACL, that's probably the biggest feature this year, has allowed us to build a bunch of new automation features, which you'll probably hear more about coming soon. We've built a forwarder. We've built the new libraries. A lot of things here are happening more in the background, and you might have not heard of them, but effectively, the protocol is a much better place for developers these days. Thanks to things like custom errors, but also the completeness of having send in the batch call, new feature called downgrade 2, which allows you to downgrade your token and transfer it in a single transaction, have effectively created a bunch of better user experiences and developer experiences. And I think in 2022, building on Superfluid is going to be as easy as building with any other ERC20. And that's something I'm extremely excited about. Superfluid is for builders, and we've always focused a lot on building tools and building functionalities that would make the life better for developers. Another thing that we focused a lot on this year was deploying on new networks. So again, if you've only been with Superfluid for a few months, you might not realize this, but last year we were only deployed on Polygon and Gnosis. Optimism, Arbitrum, Avalanche, BNB, and ... are something that has happened this year. So as you might imagine, there are a couple of more networks that are coming, but I'm happy to say that we're deployed on all the networks that count. And this is something that was very, very important for me. I've been for a very long time a supporter of cross-chain solutions, and being deployed on this many networks with pretty much no problems, right, and no downtime, and a very good maintenance and infrastructure is something that I'm extremely proud that the team managed to pull off. Going forward, I feel there's probably going to be more networks. And one thing that we're going to focus a lot on is the networking and basically the messaging across these networks. So stay tuned for more on that. Another thing that I'm extremely proud of is the Sentinels. So Sentinels are what keep Superfluid safe, and they're completely community run at the moment with a 99.95% uptime, which is sensational, to be honest. I'm very, very proud of this. The few mistakes that happen are usually due to things like reorgs that are generally the chain's fault. And even then, they're covered by the insurance system that's called Toga. So this is really good uptime. Very, very proud that we've managed to achieve this, and extremely excited to see so many members of the community pick up and run their own Sentinel and keep the system running. So this, I think, is a very important achievement, and it also emboldens us to keep deploying to new networks, confident that community members can help us keep the network safe. We've also deployed the Li-Fi integration. This is something that has immediately become very useful. It allows you to move funds across chains while converting them into super tokens. So you can move funds from USDC on Ethereum to USDCX on Polygon in one single transaction. This was a very, very interesting integration to work on. We built it both from a smart contract point of view and also with the team into our dashboard. And there's more things coming on this front as well. But one of the things that a lot of people are using this for is to move funds directly onto exchanges. So from super USDC that they're receiving in a salary to normal USDC and transferred straight to an exchange deposit address. So these are some things that before required 4 or 5 transactions for a user, and now can be done in one transaction. So these kinds of quality of life improvements are something that we focused a lot on this year. And I think for salary recipients, Superfluid has become a much better place. On top of that, for salary payers, we have this amazing integration with CoinShift. CoinShift have been incredible partners, and they've built Superfluid to be a very, very important part of their product. And I'm very proud to say that using CoinShift nowadays is probably the easiest way to set up payroll for your team, period. Not even in Web3 or Web2. It's simply the simplest way. It's one transaction, requires minimal setup and minimal maintenance. So very excited about this integration. It took a while to put it together, but we're using it personally. The team at CoinShift is using it. A lot of other teams we've onboarded are using it. It's currently only available on Polygon, but soon it will be available on other networks as well. So we will enable more teams to put their payroll on autopilot. Apart from that, we have this integration with Aluo, which I'm very excited about. It's the first interest-bearing token on Superfluid, and it's currently integrated quite well into Ricochet as well, our dollar cost averaging marketplace, which has enabled Ricochet to effectively have the most efficient dollar cost averaging system out there. So they haven't released this yet, but there are going to be a benchmark study that they've done. And using the Aluo tokens, you have the best dollar cost averaging on the market. So this was possible thanks to the yield-bearing tokens by Aluo and their integration into Superfluid. We've also built a prototype of cross-chain streams. So this is something that I'm very excited about, and you can stay tuned for more information. This is something that's going to move forward early next year, and this is I think is going to be the future. Building cross-chain is extremely important. And as we support more networks, improving the kind of connectivity between those networks is going to be an increased focus of ours. In terms of other activities, we've also recently launched a podcast. So I don't know if you guys are following it yet, but Devs Do Something has been an internal project run by Sam. It's currently on episode 18. So 18 episodes in the span of a few months. I think that's pretty incredible, and really good job by Sam. All of the guests have been excellent, to be honest. I mean, some of the alpha dropped here are things that you basically could not find anywhere else. So this is a developer-oriented podcast by developers for developers, interviewing the best developers in Web3. And if you're not following it yet, you definitely should. And if you have any developers you would like us to interview, please let us know who your recommendations would be. Apart from that, obviously, we've done a bunch of hackathons. We did so many hackathons this year. I think in total we had over 400 projects built this year alone. We attended hackathons in North America, South America. Recently, I went to India. We had a lot of hackathons in Europe, a lot of online hackathons. And we're very excited to always see such strong support from the community. So many people, excited to build on Superfluid and excited to build the next big thing using our APIs. So it was an amazing experience to see the community, coming together and building on Superfluid. Most recently in ETH India, we weren't even sponsoring, and there were still a bunch of hackers using Superfluid. And I hope going forward, we'll see more and more hackathon projects become a reality as well, and develop into mainnet projects. This year, we've also launched the Ambassador Program, which is a program that helps us effectively promote and work closer with some of our most active community members. It's invite only for now, but in the future, we plan to open it up more and have more people join it. We've been blessed with community members like Javier Donoso, Bertrand Douglas, who have helped us so much in promoting Superfluid and presenting it to the world and helping us build resources and tools and make connections that have really, really brought us forward. I recently also had the pleasure in India to meet Rashtrikov, another community member who is also our ambassador. And going forward, I really hope we can scale up this program, because it's been extremely helpful in promoting Superfluid and giving community members a better way to engage with us. So another thing that I'm very excited about that I think has been an incredible success has been the Wave Pool. So the Wave Pool is this program, this continuous hackathon that we've been running for 3 waves so far, which basically allows anyone to submit their project at any point in time and participate in the competition to win a prize at the end of the month. We've received some amazing submissions. I think we'll see some of the ones from the last wave later in this call. But yeah, let's not forget that this is something that we recently started, right? So next year we have some very big plans to make it much bigger. And I hope this will keep more developers in our community engaged and building on Superfluid and building public goods as well, right? Things that don't necessarily need to have a commercial aspect to them. So yeah, it's been a very exciting year. We've built a lot of stuff this year, but I think I'm extremely excited for next year. Next year, we're going to build a lot more. We have some very interesting ideas of products that we'll be building in-house. The Superfluid team has grown a lot, and we have a lot more engineering capacity and product capacity than we had last year. And we have some very, very exciting things in store. So I think next year is going to be great. So let's keep building.
Very nice. Thank you, Fran, for the presentation. And as you can see, our team has been incredibly busy building a lot of different things, and we're very excited for the next year. Great. I think regards to the time, we have to move on. So Mike, if you're ready, feel free to take the stage. Can you? Yeah, I can hear you. Yes. Awesome.
Fantastic. Yeah, good to meet you guys. And thanks, Bran, for the recap. It's kind of impressive to see how far we have gotten in the last year only. So I'm here today to tell you a little bit about Superfluid Protocol numbers. We have grown a lot, and we've reached some milestones that we want to share with all of you. So let me share my screen and see if I can do that. So yeah, you should be able to see my screen now. So yeah, let's dive in. We have one recurring metric in crypto that we believe is actually misleading. So for example, that metric is TVL. So you probably heard about it. You see DeFi Llama and all the kind of DeFi metrics that are basically measured constantly across all the different portfolio aggregators, etc., that relate to TVL. Now, TVL isn't ideal for most of the protocol because it does measure the value that is locked in a smart contract. That means that that value is unproductive and it's subject to potential exploits as well. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to keep capital in idle on smart contracts when it can be put at work somewhere else. So we believe that capital should be fluid, accessible, and productive. And this has always been a priority for us. So Superfluid, is born with the idea that capital should be put at work and it should not be waiting in idle somewhere. And funny enough, TVL is a recognized success metric in crypto. And all it does is, measuring how much value is locked in a smart contract or in a protocol. So, there's probably a better way to do that. And it is probably protocol specific, depending on what your protocol does and, what it can do for the world in terms of what value it adds to what people. In our case, we came up with a bunch of metrics that we believe are stronger than TVL. And in fact, we can argue we have been trying to remove TVL or limit TVL for Superfluid because, it is exposure to potential exploits. And if we can keep funds in user wallets or in Gnosis safes, that sounds like a better option. So in our process to get there, we have been designing a bunch of better metrics for Superfluid altogether. The first of it is the total value streamed. So it's not locked in our contracts, it's just the value that has been moving in Superfluid streams between wallets. For example, since launch or in the last months. That is a much better metric for us than TVL because it gives you an idea of adoption, of usage, of value provided to our users and customers. Another one is the number of wallets that are streamed or is streaming with Superfluid. So just the amount of wallet as a proxy of the user base or how many active users we have. The third one is the currently active streams. So given all the streams that are there in Superfluid, like how many of them are active right now? Is that number growing or shrinking? And the last one is the daily streaming volume of stablecoins. And why is that? Because initially we were looking at the daily streaming volume of all tokens. But with the market turning from bull to bear, the dollar value of this token has been depressed because of the contraction in the market. And so that doesn't really give us a proxy of how healthy our growth is as a protocol. So we just looked at the stable coins because they are a good proxy independently from market prices of tokens. I'm assuming they don't depeg, which we have seen sometimes happens, but we're tracking those that don't for now. So that is a better proxy for us. So it is amazing to see Superfluid Protocol reaching for the first time $70 million in TVS. So this is a great milestone for us. It means that we have reached, this data is from yesterday afternoon. So we reached the $70 million mark streamed with Superfluid since inception. And that has been exceptional together with all the effort that the team has put in growing the ecosystem around us. So it's not a massive number in the financial world, but it's definitely a large number in the crypto world. So hopefully we can continue and double down on this one for the next year. And payroll, streaming, subscriptions, all the DeFi integrations, token vesting, and many others are part of the use cases that allow us to get here. In terms of wallets, we have now almost approached the 200,000 wallets that have tried Superfluid. That is also a very large number. It's clearly larger than the number of users because we believe that we might have some users that have multiple wallets, but it does sound like a proxy of the reach that the protocol has had over the past year and a half. Among them, we have 208,000 streams that have been sent by these 200,000 wallets. So that is also a very large number for what we see. How many of these are actually active right now? So as of yesterday afternoon, we had 60,000 streams active, nearly 60,000. So that is also a very large number for us in terms of data points for measuring active users. Let's say that even if each user has 2 wallets, let's say having 30,000 active users on a monthly basis, that is very powerful for us. I want to spend a couple more words on the trend and the dynamics here. So what you're looking at here, this is a chart that is depicting the daily streaming volume in dollars of stablecoins only. So you can see this is since inception. This is since basically April 2021. And then we see that at the beginning, we were basically, there was no growth in the total value streamed in a daily basis. And then we had these experiments, these initial peaks that were growing. And then we've seen some steep growth there and decline, which was when the first application on Superfluid was launched. This was Ricochet Exchange. That was a very massive inflation in volume, and mostly because it was launching with incentives as well. So imagine, if this peak is just one single application, imagine what your applications that are building on Superfluid can do in terms of volume drive for Superfluid Protocol. So as we see more applications deploying and integrating, we are expecting to see more spikes like that one. But you can see that the trend has been fairly flat over summer when the market has seen the crash of Luna and everyone got scared about crypto. And then we see there is a beautiful trend of growth in the last few months that is similar to the growth rate at the beginning of the launch of the protocol. So we have seen this growth coming up nicely in the last quarter, and we're expecting that to grow even faster in Q1 and Q2 of next year. You see that these oscillations are because people are trying out the payroll use case as scale. So they're trying to run experiments to see if this is a robust, resilient solution. So these little spikes at the very end of the right side of the chart are because these are testing payroll for their own workforce. So hopefully, after a few testing, they will decide that this is worth pursuing as well. So yeah, this is just a recap on the numbers. We are extremely delighted to see that these are the numbers for Superfluid, and we're going to keep tracking more. So if you have more numbers that we should be tracking, please do suggest them in the chat. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop them on Discord. If you have any smart metric that you'd like to see, just let us know, and we'll keep improving our data reporting as well. So yeah, I'm not sure we have any time for questions, but we can probably keep them for the Q&A at the end of the call. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mike. It was great to see all the numbers and the growth. It's definitely great to see. A quick question from Javier. Was the testnet included in the data or no?
No, this is only the mainnets where we're deployed. The testnet's activity is much bigger, funny enough, because we have had so many hackathons, and there's so much developer adoption that you can see the trend of mainnet data is just a fraction of that of the dev environment and testnets in general. So if we convert just a fraction of the testnets development into mainnets, that will propel the growth on the mainnet data as well.
Awesome. I hope that answered your question, Javier. Cool. Then we are good to move on with product recap. Vijay, feel free to take the stage.
Everyone, let me just share my screen quickly. All right. Here we go. All right, sorry about that. It took me a second. Okay. So in 2022, we achieved a pretty sizable list of things that Fran's already gone through. So a couple of them will be doubled up here. Sorry for that, but safe to say we've been shipping like crazy this year, and I'm really happy with the progress we've made. In January and March, we shipped the Console V2, our Explorer, which you can go and check out today. It's a hallmark, I guess, of our engineering practices, and I think it's open source, uses SDK Core and SDK Redux under the hood, our revamped SDKs, and generally it's kind of a testament, I think, to how we think about engineering here at Superfluid. So really recommend checking that out, especially if you're a developer who'd like to learn more about building on Superfluid. And we deployed in our first two networks of the year, Optimism and Arbitrum, on which hopefully you've seen some news about our Optimism builder grants as well. So hopefully some of you are getting stuck into that. In April to June, we continued our hard work, which we launched in January, of starting to test out and build a dashboard v2 to take over from where we'd kind of gotten to with our initial dashboard, really redesigning everything from scratch with these new engineering practices. And I think what we've released is pretty impressive, but it is thanks to all of the dashboard user testers who got it stuck in to help us. And we also launched our public dashboard roadmap. So I'll give another call out at the end to kind of remind everyone to check this out. But really recommend getting stuck in there, because it's been a source for us to understand what it is you want us to build, and then letting you know when we've done it. And we also launched an avalanche. But it was around the middle of the year that was the real highlight for us, when we launched our dashboard v2, which is the dashboard that you can all see and use now at app.superfluid.finance. Here you can see it in its initial state. We've already developed quite a lot past there, and we're continuing to build and iterate every single day. We added the Li-Fi bridge for this really convenient, bridging, swapping, and sort of exiting from Superfluid streams, onboarding Superfluid from various networks and to exchanges. And finally, we also launched this mini game. So hopefully some of you have had a chance to check that out. We continued the pace all the way through to the end of the year, continuing to, sorry, that should say, I think I've got my months, never mind, October to December. We launched our streaming NFTs, so hopefully you've seen these in your wallets if you're receiving Superfluid streams. We launched a new testnet faucet for people to really just immediately be able to start trying out, seeing what it looks like to get these flowing balances in their wallets. We also added fiat prices, which we know is a helpful feature that many people receiving salaries or other long-term payments and streams have been looking for. But we're not sort of we're not stopping there in terms of our pace. We're really actually, I would say, ramping up to a bunch of great launches that we expect to kick off the new year with. So hopefully you've seen from last time, we're hard at work and ready to start onboarding early access users very shortly for both Ethereum mainnet and for vesting, things that we've had in our backlog and been heavily demanded for a long period of time. So please reach out to us on Discord or whatever other channel you have at your disposal if you want to learn more about that and if you want to be an early user, because they will initially be early access. So stay tuned for more information about that. But we have another few features coming. So our accounting export, those of you who are paying close attention to our GitHub or otherwise paid attention to our roadmap will have seen this. Particularly for people who are getting paid in streams or people who are paying in streams, makes it very convenient to import all that data into your accounting tool of choice. And then finally, a bunch of automations that have been in the works for a long time and that builders out there in our ecosystem have been including for a while will be made available in the dashboard and all of our kind of first-party user apps. So fixed duration streams, scheduled start dates, and even auto top-up for your super token balances. And finally, we've been hard at work in getting a new version of notifications set up. So you'll finally be able to get email notifications again on all your Superfluid activity. But again, this roadmap is built and contributed to by you as our community through all the feedback you give us and all of the contributions you make in our actual roadmap online. So really recommend getting stuck in there. Join our discussions in Discord. Ask about how the product works if there are things that you'd like to understand better about it, and make suggestions if there are things that you'd like to see. Always open to your feedback, and thanks for all your support.
Thank you so much, Vijay, for your presentation and for all the recaps and updates. I saw Javier also saying in the chat, great job, the product team. Definitely. They have been working so hard this year, so we're really happy to have made such a progress. Great. If any of you have any questions, meanwhile, for the presenters, please feel free to use the chat and we will try to answer as best and fast as possible. And also, if some of you already have played our mini game and have found it on the dashboard, do let us know in the chat. I'm curious to see how many of you have found it already. But other than that, Sunny, if you are here, feel free to take the stage.
Do I have the mic?
Yes, you do.
Awesome. I'll take the screen really quick. Okay. How's that look?
It looks great.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. Really happy to be delivering another recap on the wave pool. So November came to an end, and we had a set of really cool projects that were submitted to the wave pool. I'm going to recap them and then just talk a bit more of what's new with the wave pool. So let's get into it. So for those of us who are new here and are not familiar with the wave pool is our Superfluid community hackathon. It is open 24/7, 365. Essentially, every month you can submit projects to the wave pool at any time. And at the end of the month, we will assess those projects and issue prizes to those builders. And then we'll also provide opportunities for recognition alongside these really cool POAPs that you can earn for placing in the wave pool. So also notice that the wave pool is for technical and non-technical work. So we'll see projects that come through that are using our technology, and we'll also see projects that are articles, tutorials, and more software work that are non-technical. So wave number 4 is happening right now. We just finished wave number 3 in November. Wave number 4 is happening over the course of December. We have an assortment of really nice prizes from 2,000 to 1,000 for first, second, and third, and then 2,000 for a prize that is co-sponsored with LivePeer. You may have seen us talking about this on Twitter. Essentially, if you create a really nice project that integrates with LivePeer, for example, imagine an application where you can only view a LivePeer stream if you have an active Superfluid stream going. Then you can submit such a project to this integration bounty and potentially earn that $2,000. And so it's a really cool opportunity. And then we also have a $1,000 pool prize for projects that are really nice but don't quite make the cut of the top 3. So yeah, the wave pool is kicking off here in December. This is happening right now, obviously, since it is December. So if you guys are looking to tackle a project, you can go for it for wave number 4. All right, so let's talk about the top surfers from wave number 3 last month. Drum roll, please. And here we go. So in third place, we have Mark Carey. Mark produced the Sidedoor API, which is a REST formatted API. REST is like kind of a standard API format that allows you to basically abstract away the hassle of dealing with kind of the Web3 user experience when it comes to dealing with dApps, such as setting transactions, opening up MetaMask, dealing with gas, etc. And it abstracts into a simple API call, which is a very standard non-Web3 thing. And so Mark was able to demonstrate doing some Superfluid money stream actions with his Sidedoor API, and it worked just fine. And it was a really great project. He also demonstrated it being used in yesterday's wave pool winner live stream, and we got to see it work in action in front of our eyes, and it was just an amazing product. So great work, Mark, and can't wait to see what else you apply this to. In second place, we had Chin Mei. Chin Mei produced the Nifty Tap. The Nifty Tap is a really cool project that allows you to essentially claim a stream if you possess a certain NFT. So it's like NFT gated stream claiming. So essentially he made a smart contract where if you have a certain NFT that's whitelisted, then you can go and claim a stream of a specific super token. So you can imagine this being applied for DAOs or other kind of social experiences where instead of being airdropped tokens all at once or provided tokens all at once based on your possession of an NFT from an art collection, some kind of DAO membership, etc., you're getting streamed those tokens, which creates a more ongoing experience as opposed to a one-time experience, which creates a better kind of continuous engagement experience. So really great work from Chin Mei on Nifty Tap, and yeah, just shout out to him for consistently producing awesome Superfluid projects. And in first place, we have the borrow against your salary front end from Adam and Piotr. This project demonstrates a really interesting front end, that really sleek, high quality front end for our borrow against your salary example, which is our most complicated example. And they were able to demonstrate a really nice front end that makes the experience of dealing with this example and the functionality of it very straightforward. And so I'm going to quickly click on the link here that takes us to a public deployment of their front end. Here it is. And you can see that it's really well fleshed out. You've got a dashboard, you've got the ability to make a borrow request, you have the ability to view lending offers and lend out to people who are requesting capital against their salaries. And then you have the opportunity to manage your salary streams for your employers. So this was really high quality work. And Adam and Piotr have mentioned being interested in building out more front ends around Superfluid based things. So this was really impressive and excellent work by them, and they more than deserved this first place prize. Right, can you go back to full screen? Cool. So that was our top three. We also had to issue a bunch of awesome honorable mention prizes to these awesome projects that were great but didn't quite make that top three cut. And so I want to take the slide to recognize them. And first we have our Superfluid Governance mainnet forking articles by Tony. Tony essentially went in, reverse engineered the Superfluid governance process for issuing super app keys so that he could have a better developer experience testing his super apps on local hard hat mainnet forks. And so he produced this article, and we actually ended up incorporating it into our docs because it was that good. So great work, Tony. Then we have a really nice article from Umar from the Accountant Quits, demonstrating how to use requests for Superfluid streams and the integration there. And so that was a great article talking about the kind of conceptual stuff as well as the nitty-gritty of the integration and why it's useful. And we have a project from Mai, which demonstrates this thing called Sponsor, where you can essentially sponsor GitHub repositories or developers using Superfluid streams instead of the traditional kind of Web 2 fashion, which was really, really interesting. And then we had another really interesting claimable stream project by Fiddy, which also goes into credit. And it's a really interesting kind of smart contract dynamic there. And then we had a stream bridging proof of concept by Perseus Core, which shows you how to basically streams swap super tokens across bridges and then start streams on each side. It was a really cool proof of concept there. So great work from all these honorable mentions, and congratulations on their prizes. They also won stablecoin prizes as well. So yeah, so that concludes our recap here. Just want to remind you guys to get surfing if you're interested. The wave pool is always open. And if you want to find information, you can scan that QR code or go to superfluid.finance/wave pool. Can't wait to see what people build going forward. And yeah, thanks for giving me the floor here, Victoria. Back to you.
Thank you so much for the presentation. It was so cool to see what people are building in our community. Always great to see. And we're also now kicking off live streams on YouTube. So all the winners will be demoing their work on YouTube live streams as well. So stay tuned if you want to contribute and build something with Superfluid. Technical or non-technical, do check out Wavepool. We have some cool stuff coming up next year as well. So definitely stay tuned for that. Great. And I think we're good to continue with GeoWeb. So Graven and your team, feel free to take the stage.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, get my screen share going. All good?
All good.
Cool. Well, thanks for having us back. Obviously, big fans of Superfluid, so happy to be here for the year-end wrap-up. Big day for the GeoWeb today. I'll get into that later, but we launched about 49 minutes ago on Optimism. And we'll explain a little bit why we can be on this call and not be worried about it. But the GeoWeb is an open geospatial information network. And we believe that we're going to move into an era where digital information will be seen side by side with the real world. So what we're trying to build is a property rights system that creates consensus around browsing that digital information that's in the physical world and fund public goods to do it. We believe in an open ecosystem, open metaverse, all that good stuff. We want to see the foundations of the web expand to the next era. We believe we can actually do that with a system called partial common ownership. In that system, people can claim land parcels in the real world or that represent real world locations, but they must set a for sale price for each one of those parcels. Those can be updated at any time. Landholders have to pay a 10% per year fee based off that for sale price. And that's where Superfluid comes in. The talk earlier about TVL and capital efficiency, we want to see money moving and not being locked up to pay these fees. And then the final bit, your for sale price is a real for sale price. Someone can buy the parcel from you at that price. So we create these nice balancing incentives. We did end up modifying a little bit. You are able to reject bids, but you have to pay a 10% penalty, which is a year's worth of fees. So the idea is still to be honest about your for sale price. Now I'll just get into some demos. As I mentioned, we launched on Optimism not too long ago with a Dutch auction. The price is ticking down live here. As you can see, we started at 100 ETH. I don't think anyone's going to pay 100 ETH on Optimism for a parcel just yet, maybe someday. I think that's actually more liquidity than ETHX has on Optimism at this point, but hopefully we start seeing that tick up. So I'm on our Cadastra interface on our testnet. We have a Dutch auction running here just at a much lower price, as you can see right there. I'm going to go ahead and start a claim and show you how our system works in the different interactions. I don't know, I'm just going to claim a random place in New York City. We do allow user definition of parcels. There are some constraints. We see this grid popping up here, rectangular, but user-defined parcel claims. Our Dutch auction details. Right now, the required bid on the testnet is 0.0142, blah, 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 constantly ticking down per second. It'll reach a minimum price of 0.005. That's also what it is on mainnet as well. To make this claim, I can give it a name, random place. I can link some content to it, which for this starting point is just a website. I'll link our homepage there if you want to go check us out later. And then I have to enter a for sale price. I will say it's worth half an ETH. This next field is automatically calculated at 0.5 ETH for sale price. I'm going to be paying 0.05 ETHX per year. It's important to see, so we have this Dutch auction price, and that's a claim payment that's also going to be required. If I tried to set my price below that, that doesn't make any sense, right? I'm not going to pay for a parcel and then be willing to immediately sell it for less. So if I set this price higher than the current Dutch auction price, I can make this claim. What's going to be going on here is I'm going to be making a one-time payment for this Dutch auction payment. And we also do that in ETHX. So this is a one-time transfer of this value that is constantly ticking down. I'm going to be authorizing a stream of 0.05 ETH per year. And then, of course, doing my stream buffer. When I make this claim, I've already authorized those streams and everything. I did that ahead of time. Optimistic Gourley, hopefully is moving fast and the RPC is stable. I will submit this transaction and I will hopefully be the owner of this parcel in just a few seconds. Loading. Loading. There we go. So the random place that links the GeoWeb's website, I can go ahead and see that in our tool called the Spatial Browser. That'll probably take a little bit to update too. If I was on a mobile phone, I could see this, but I'm obviously simulating my location here with these latitude and longitude coordinates on my desktop. You can also start to add content. We do 3D content, augmented reality here. I'm going to go ahead and skip that and focus on just the transaction modes. Within each wallet, you can own multiple parcels. Each one of them is going to be a separate stream. This is one of my testing wallets. I own a bunch of different parcels on the testnet. You can see the details of those streams here. I also see that I have some incoming bids. Someone else has placed a bid on a parcel that I own. So let's go ahead and go there and see what's going on. My for sale price was set at 0.02 ETH. Someone has placed an incoming bid of 0.025 ETH. The payment I would receive is not the incoming bid, because I'm not going to get what someone else values it at. I need to be held accountable for what I priced it at. So this bid is what I would be paid. If I want to accept it, I'm going to get paid that amount. If I want to reject it, I have to set a new for sale price at or above the rival bidder's value. Say I wanted to do that. And as I mentioned earlier, we're going to pay a 10% penalty fee. That's again a one-time transfer. And then in addition, I'm going to be incrementing my stream up from 0.02 to 0.03 for sale price. So that's a net gain of 0.001 ETH per year. I'm just going to skip doing that. I will go and let's find a parcel that I can place a bid on. I kind of skimmed over. I own a lot of stuff around here. So here, I can place a bid here. Bids must be collateralized. So this current price is 0.016. I want to say it's worth 0.02. I'm going to be authorizing a collateral deposit of 0.02 ETH. The purchase payment is that amount, and then I would be refunded my collateral. So if I go ahead and I'll just do these quick, place this bid. When a bid is placed, the licensor, I kind of did these out of order, but that previous licensor that owned it has 7 days to respond to the bid. So we've built a lot of stuff in here with streams and pre-authorizing streams and making transfers. And so shout out to Cody Hatfield, my co-founders here. He's done amazing stuff. There's a lot in these smart contracts. And also Stefano, other teammate, front end wizard that's done all this stuff, is here as well. Go ahead and place this bid. Once it goes through, we're going to see that mention of the 7 days that the person has to respond. I'm going to be, you can watch up here. I will see an increment change there in my wallet balance once it goes through. So it's an outstanding bid 7 days from now at this exact time. And then I'll just go back again and look at my bid. And we'll go ahead and just accept it. So when I accept this, not only is the parcel being transferred, my stream is being stopped and someone else's stream is being started. That all coordination happens all at once. While that's going through, the last sort of transaction intersection is, or types of transactions are, if someone does not respond to a bid in 7 days, there is the ability to trigger all those streams stopping, streams starting, and ownership being transferred. Anyone is able to do that permissionlessly. And also, if your stream runs dry, our parcels go into what is like a foreclosure mode. If your for sale price was previously 0.025 ETH, if your stream stops, it's going to be put into foreclosure. Another Dutch auction is going to be 2 weeks from that price down to zero, making sure that the parcel gets back into someone's hands that wants to use it with good price discovery. I think that's it for now. As I mentioned, we just launched on Optimism 45, now 58 minutes ago. So I was under 10 minutes with my prezo, so that's good. And follow this link tree, links to our website. You can go check out the cadastra if you're a whale and want to help bootstrap this this crazy idea. We'd appreciate it. all the funds collected with this go to public goods. So to start, that means the funds that are collected will go into a quadratic matching pool to be used for open source, public good type things. And so we're really excited. It's been a long road to get here. We'll see what happens. We'll try to be building up tension around who is the first person to claim a parcel. The world is a blank canvas at this point. So it could be you, it could be a whale, could be someone that wants to make a political statement. We are really excited to see that come together. And then next year, hopefully the floodgates open with the partial common ownership system running as normal without needing a huge bankroll to claim parcels. Stop my screen share, and
Awesome.
thank you all. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Graven, for the presentation, and congrats on going live with the project, and congrats to the whole team. It's great to see you guys building this out. I was just curious, has anyone bid on Times Square yet?
No, I don't. I think we're going to be several days, well, many days before we see the first parcel claim. So that's why it's a soft launch.
Okay.
We're really confident in everything, but we are eagerly waiting to see that first parcel claim. But I don't think it's going to be over $100,000 at this point.
True. Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for presenting this. And yeah, let keep us updated. How's it gonna go? Great. So that's all with the presentations today. If any of you have any questions for the presenters or in general, do let us know. Here's your chance. Feel free to use the chat or if you want to be on voice, feel free to come on stage in the mic, and then everybody can hear you as well. So do let us know if there's any comments or any questions. I see Fran is actually asking in the chat, how does the auction work? Does everyone pay the same price?
Gonna type something in. Am I back on stage? But basically, any parcel, any wallet at the given time is going to pay the same claim price. So they will make that one-time payment. They'll set their for sale price and then the network fee. That price is constantly ticking down every single second. So even between the time of when you submit your bid and when it actually goes through, it's going to go down a little bit more. You will only pay the price at the time of block confirmation. And so with the blank canvas, we don't know in user definition of parcels. We needed to have a flexible system where people could define their own parcel, and we needed a way to order those in a way that makes sense. So efficient price discovery of an auction, of a Dutch auction, kind of checks those boxes.
Great. Fran, I hope Graven answered your question there. I'm just gonna look, see if anyone else has anything. If there's no questions or no comments, then we are good to end the call here. And I see Fran has more questions for you, Craven. How long is it? When does it hit the 1 ETH mark?
It is a 30-day Dutch auction from 100 ETH down to 0.005 ETH X. And so it basically goes down around 3.33 ETH per day. So the last day of this will be January 14th, 2023. So that's where probably a lot of action is going to happen. So it will end, I guess it goes down, what is that, like 0.13 ETH per hour. It would probably be sometime around, let's say, 8 hours before. It'll be like 10 UTC on January 14th, 2023 is when it'll be about 1 ETH.
Fran, mark your calendar. Fun. Thank you so much, Craven. yeah, if there's any more questions, feel free to put them in the chat, or I think we're gonna close the formal part here. As I said, we're gonna stick around here. If anyone wants to play games with us, do feel free to join us. So basically how it works is that we have a gaming room back in this office space. So you all can follow me afterwards. And we have like a separate tables over there. And each table has a game. And feel free, whatever game you want to play. And then if people join you, you can all play together. We have Cardic Phone, we have Scribble, we have poker as well. I personally cannot really play poker, but we have people in the team who can play really well. So feel free to join them. But otherwise, if you have to go, happy holidays. Thank you so much for joining in, and see you next time. And if you have any questions or want to chat with someone from the team, feel free to stick around and approach the character that you want to chat with, and you will automatically be able to chat on voice and everywhere. So yeah, a lot of confetti flying around. Thank you everybody for joining in. And for those who want to play games, feel free to follow me to the gaming room. Once we're there, I'm gonna unspotlight myself. So you're not gonna see me or hear me anymore if you're not gonna follow me. So yeah, happy holidays everybody who has to leave, and thank you for joining. And now I'm gonna hover over to the gaming room. Wait, how can I? Okay, here. Awesome. So we have the gaming room over here. Fran is over there as well. If any of you wants to speak with Fran, he's chilling there.